Hey folks, second day at the Mother Earth News fair in Belton, Texas. Yesterday, I was so inspired by Justin Rhodes and by Daddy Kirby that I started my YouTube channel. I started, well, not just mine, my family's. I started an Instagram, the whole nine yards. I was putting it off because I wanted to be one of those people that, got some land and wanted, and then I could show people something. You know what I mean? I could teach people things I've been studying for 25 years. But Daddy Kirby really inspired me. He was like, "Your story matters, and your story matters right where you're at right now." Because somebody else in this world is in the same spot. They're struggling just like you are, and I never thought about it like that. I never thought that maybe there's other people that are stuck in the cities that hate it, that hate the environment, that hate the violence. I'm not in a good neighborhood. I don't have my kids in a good neighborhood. There's shootings that happen. There's stabbings that happen. There are people getting attacked for no reason. There's gunfire. There's been times the cops have knocked on our door and said, "Hey, we wanted to make sure that you're okay because the shots came this way." You know what I'm saying? And we had to go out and check our house, see if there's any bullet holes in the house. That's not a good place to be. It's not a good place to be. Sorry, my beard is a little wispy even right now because I play with it too much and mess with it. That's something I got to stop. It's a nervous habit. But I wanted to tell you a little bit about me. My name is Bill, and I'll let other people in the family share more of the story later. But I have a brain injury, and this is my amazing dog, Celeste, and she is my service dog, obviously. I don't have a, she tore the patch a little bit, but I got to get that fixed. But she is, that's weird. It's showing backwards in my video. It's a she's my PTSD service dog. But she is also, I have a brain injury. Along with PTSD, and no, I was not in the military. I was a corrections officer for 16 years, and evidently having to be perfect or near perfect every day for 16 years, that messes with your brain. But on top of that, I got PTSD from having a massive car wreck. It wasn't us, I was driving. It was me and my two girls and my wife, and we were hit by a drunk driver almost head on. He was going about 80 miles an hour at midnight with his headlights off. He thought he was running from the cops because he heard sirens, and they were actually ambulances and fire trucks going to other fender benders and stuff like that. It was 4th of July weekend. It was actually on the 5th when the city had their fireworks display, and we were just pulling out of an intersection, and he ran the red light, and bang, there he was. I didn't even see him. I don't even remember the wreck. But my story is that I have this brain injury. I have this dead spot in my brain somewhere over here, and I have a crushed cranial nerve. So every possible sensation you can have on my left side when it gets to my brain, there's nothing wrong with any of the nerves out here or anything like that, but when it gets to my brain processes it as pain. And so cold is the worst, and we live in Indiana. And so I am currently running away from the cold. So I went to Texas. I did a lot of research on climates and weather and things like that, and I have for a long time. My dad's done even more than I have, but I realize the temperatures I need are down around the 30th parallel or below, which runs through 30th parallel runs through Houston, Texas. Austin, Texas is 15 minutes north of the 30th parallel, and San Antonio, Texas is 15 minutes below the 30th parallel. So I went to my choices in America were Texas and Florida, and I don't do cockroaches. And I know they call them palmetto bugs, but they're just god awful big cockroaches. So I went to Texas, and you know what? I have had the best time here. This state is amazing. The people in this state are amazing. I have only had two people since I got here, and I've talked to a lot of people that were rude or obnoxious, and had an issue with me, which just because I wanted some information, or one of the persons was a Walmart greeter, and she didn't like the fact that I had a dog. She had a scowl on her face like 24/7, and I was telling that to a guy, and he said, "Are you sure they were from Texas?" And I said, "Well, no, I don't. They might not have even been from here, but as far as Texans go, and even people that have just lived in Texas for a long time, they're amazing. They're polite. They're helpful. They are typically have a conservative attitude, which I do too. Even though I'm a little more libertarian than straight conservative, but I am very conservative, but liberal, but not liberal, but libertarian at the same time. I believe we should have a lot of freedom. Government should be minimized. But those are talks for later days. But I am here in Texas, and I've been touring Texas, and God's been telling me where to go. And Jesus has been amazing to me. He has he's filled me with his Holy Spirit so many times while I've been down here. That's amazing. But he led me to this conference, and this is the best conference I've ever been to. These people are like rock stars to me. I met Justin Rhodes and Rebecca Rhodes from the Justin Rhodes Show, and from the Beautiful Life, and they do amazing things. I want to live like they live. I want my family to have what their family has, and I desperately want it. And I know God's going to get us there. I'm just impatient, just like everybody else, and I want it so bad I can taste it. But I know God's going to get it to us. I know that He's going to give us that. I don't know when, but I know it's going to happen. And I know that He's going to be able to give me the ability to set up systems and start a homestead and start ranching, to where I can leave a legacy that will bless my children's children's children to the 7th generation. And that's exactly what I want. I want to be able to leave a legacy that blesses my lineage and their friends and neighbors for at least 7 generations. And I know that there's other people out there that want the same thing. And I'm telling you right now, you can have it. You need to start praying for it. You need to trust Jesus. You need to talk to him every day, every minute of every day. And you need to understand how to listen to him. And long story short, the Holy Spirit is your conscience. If you have a conscience, you need to pour out your heart to that conscience. And you need to, you need to sit back and listen and wait for your conscience to speak back to you about whatever you said to it. And it will. I don't know when, but it will. And then you pour out your heart to it again, and you respond to whatever it said to you or whatever it showed you or pointed out to you. And I'm telling you right now, it will respond back, and you will respond back to it, and it will respond back. And pretty soon you will realize that you are carrying on an intelligent conversation with somebody you cannot see. And that's powerful. Because when you realize that, your mind will be opened up, and your spirit will be opened up, and you will understand that God is a personal God. He is not impersonal, and he works in our lives every single day, and he wants us to talk to him, and he wants to talk back to us. He wants to lead our lives personally every single day. And it will amaze you. It will be a blessing upon you and your soul and your family when you realize that Jesus Christ loves you and talks to you personally and handles your situations personally. You know, I'm here in Texas because I'm running from the cold, but I'm also looking for land for my family. I don't have the money yet for it, but I know God's going to get it to us. I don't know where that land's at, but I know God's going to lead me to it. He told me it would be down here in Texas. I don't know where. That's why I'm traveling the land, and we get to choose. But I will not choose until Jesus Christ tells me that is the land I am to own, and the land that my lineage, that my children and their children's children, to the 7th or 10th generation, should inhabit that land. Because when Jesus Christ ordains it, nothing can stop it. Not only nothing can stop it, but anything that comes against it will fail. Because nothing can fight Jesus. Nothing can fight God. Nothing. Not Satan, not all the fallen angels, not all the powers that he ever created, not even his own creation. If we all banded together, we could not come against him. We could try, but we would fail. It's already happened once. That should be a lesson to us. Because whether you like the Bible or not, it's at the very least a heck of a history book. And we need to know history. And it's a lot more than that. But you should at least look at it as an incredible history book. So I'm down here. I got to hang out with Daddy Kirby a little bit. That's awesome. I wish I had video of that, but I don't. He did take a little bit of short video of me. I met him for the first time down here. I didn't even know he had a YouTube channel. I didn't know who he was from Adam. But he is an amazing guy. He is awesome. And I hope I get to hang out with him a little bit more. I got to get a picture with Justin and Rebecca Rhodes. I got to talk to them for a short bit. They're great people. They're truly down to earth. Okay. They are not, I think they're rock stars. You know what I'm saying? And so do many of us. But I don't put them up on a pedestal because I know that they put they put their shoes on same as me, and they can't tie them both at the same time. They got to eat and poop just like everybody. All right. I met Dr. Leo, and it starts with an S. I can't remember or even pronounce his last name. Sherishkin or something of that nature. About beekeeping, he is amazing. He changed I've studied beekeeping for a long time, and I've kept bees I kept some bees at one time, and I'm telling you, and I failed, but that's okay because failure is part of life. If you're afraid to fail, then you'll never do anything. Okay, so he changed my perspective on beekeeping. So as soon as I get back home, or even if I can get lumber down here, I'm going to start building parts to beehives so that when God gives us our land, I can hit the road running. I will already have beehives ready to assemble and ready for bees. And I will already have the boxes to catch wild swarms, because wild bees are what we need. We don't need manufactured bees or bees raised in captivity. We need wild bees, and we need that strain, as Joel Salatin says. We need that survivor strain, because otherwise it's nothing but work and management continually. Okay, you should have management, but your management should be, as Jesus says, a light load. Okay, it should not be a heavy load. If it's a heavy load, something's wrong. All right, because Jesus didn't make us to live that way. I also met an amazing guy who, I've studied fungus and mycelium for some time, and I don't get into all the Latin and stuff like that. I can't pronounce half the names, and I can't remember half of what the mushrooms are. You know what I mean? I remember some of them that are good for you, but I'm not a doctorate. I don't know all these strains that'll kill you or strains that don't. I know a lot about a few strains that are edible. Okay, specifically the ones that pertain to me. Lion's mane helps rebuild nerve tissue, and unfortunately, I've not been able for the last 5 years to I guess 4.5 years to be able to get any of that, you know. But I want to start growing it, and I met an amazing guy down here. I've studied a lot about Paul Stamets. I had never heard about Thad Carter before, but man, he is an incredible guy. Thad Carter is going to change the world. Mark my words on it. He's going to change the world, and I want to be along for the ride. Not for any money, not for any fame, because I want to change the world. I want to help this guy on his journey. He's incredible, absolutely incredible. And he gave me some oyster mushrooms, which I've got some. Shoot, where'd I put it? Oh, it's back here in the back a little bit. It's back here with the in that baggie right there by the blue tarp. I was trying to keep it a little bit out of the straight sun. So it's an oyster mushroom strain. But then they had these. I got this idea. It's not the greatest idea, I guess, but at least I'm working on it. They had some sawmills here, and man, there's sawdust just laying around all over the place. And Thad had said, "Hey, you could put some sawdust in here, and it'll help close up all the gaps and stuff, make it easier to take the air out of the bag and things like that." And so I was like, "Oh, dude, I'm going to do that. So I went over and I started stealing sawdust. It was just laying there, and there's a dumpster there. They're going to throw it away. So I started scraping it up off the concrete. I got 10 gallon-sized bags of sawdust, and there was more. It's back there, if you can see it, back here by my gas cans, and so then they had a bunch in the dumpster, and so I went and got a bunch of it. I grabbed my poop bucket. I filled it up. I filled up some other like peanut butter jars and things like that. Because I'm going to start a mushroom farm in my truck as I'm living in it and traveling. And that's awesome. That's Jesus Christ right there. He's going to feed me protein and enzymes that I need, living food, while I'm on the road. Okay? While I have no way to get other great food, he's going to feed me because of Thad Carter. All right? And then I ended up stealing a strain of fungus, and I don't remember the name of it. It's a very fast-growing fungus from Thad that I want to use in a building project. But I'm not ready for the building project, but I got to keep it alive while I got it. So, and I'm not even sure if it's edible. I don't know. But I ended up telling him I stole it. He's like, cool. He's like, do it, man. I told him what I was going to do with it. He's like, do it. You know what I mean? I'm not going to talk to all of you about that right now because I'm not ready for that stage. And I'm not here to just give you my hopes and dreams. I'm here to give you fact. I'm here to give you, this is going on right now. And this is how Jesus is working in my life right now. Okay. So, this was an amazing experience for me. If you can go to a Mother Earth News fair, go to it. It's not very expensive. It's not as expensive as going to like a supernatural convention or going to a lot of concerts. A lot of concerts are more expensive than this. It's like $25 a ticket, and if you want preferred seating, which is you get to sit in the first two rows so long as you're there before the 5-minute bell before the conference, before each of the classes start. That's like $60. You know what I mean? And I mean, that's not cheap. That's pretty cheap. Most concert tickets are going to cost you more than that. And a concert's not even as good for you. You're not going to learn while you're there. You'll be entertained, but you're not going to learn. And you need to be learning every day. Every person can learn every day. I got a brain injury and I can learn every day. My dad is over 70 years old. I can't remember how old he is actually, because my brain doesn't work like it should. I've got a filing cabinet full of stuff in there. It's just hard to open the drawers. My dad is over 70 years old, and he learns every day. My grandfather was old, and he learned every day. My great-grandfather died at 81, like 2 weeks before his 82nd birthday, and he learned every day. The difference is whether you're gonna have passive learning, meaning you're just going through life, dealing with putting out fires, dealing with situations you have to deal with, and then vegging on the couch. Okay, you're either going to do passive learning like that, or you're going to do active learning. You're going to say, hey, I'm interested in this, and I have a passion for this, and I want to study it every day. Because God wired every one of you up in your mother's womb. Okay? David said, you knit me together in my mother's womb. And that is actually true. Science proves that. And that's a talk for a later day. But he specifically wired every nerve cell in every nerve pathway in your body and your brain. He specifically designed your brain to have certain chemicals in it, to have certain desires, certain passions to use to build his kingdom. Okay? That's why everybody's different. That's why everybody has a different passions and different desires, different loves. Okay? And man, it's like 77. It's like almost 80 degrees here. It's like 77, 78 degrees. And it's got a little bit of a breeze out here, which is incredible. But I'm baking in this car. I got to roll these windows down. Sorry about the wind if it bothers anybody. And I don't want to just rattle on in here, but I'm here to plug. I'm telling you right now, I'm getting nothing from this whatsoever. Okay, but I am here to plug Daddy Kirby because he is an inspiration to me. I am here to plug the Justin Rhodes Show and the Beautiful Life and the Rhodes Bros. Man, they're cool. You know what I mean? They're little kids and they're doing cool stuff. You know what I mean? Okay, you know, I can only watch them go over ramps so many times or climb a tree. But you know what? I liked their caving. Their caving was great. I love that. All right. I was like, whoa, that is cool. You know what I mean? I don't remember how old I am. I was born in 1972. I can tell you that. And it's 2020. So I don't know how old I am, but I'm a lot older than they are. I mean, I got this big old gray beard and they don't, but I was like, that's cool. You know what I mean? There should be more kids getting involved in sharing their lives. Not every day, look at my butt, I'm working out, you know, I look so good. You know, I would love to look like that. I want to look like an Adonis too. Don't get me wrong. But that's not the content they should be sharing. They should be sharing knowledgeable things. Things that are the adventure that God gives them every day. That's what you should be sharing. How Jesus is working in your life today. Because your story matters. Just like mine. Just like Daddy Kirby's. Just like Justin Rhodes. Just like Rebecca Rhodes. Just like Dr. Leo, but I don't even think he's on YouTube. That car. I mean, those are incredible people. And Thad doesn't have a YouTube channel. I don't even know what I don't know. He's an amazing guy. I love his brain. I'm not in love with him. I'm not like that. This has just been such a great experience. I want you to remember always that you matter. Your story matters. Jesus